Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into it, focusing specifically on Taylor Swift's track, Elizabeth Taylor. It's track number 2 on her 12th album, The Life of a Showgirl. And people are already talking about it a lot, calling it a favorite, not just the title, obviously.
Right. And when you really dig into what the sources are saying, it's clear this song, well, it's about this deep, almost kind of paralyzing insecurity underneath all the fame. It talks about love, and but really it's framed as this desperate hunt for reassurance. Like she's asking this huge icon, how do you make this last?
Yeah.
Especially with all the public pressure.
Exactly. That's what we're going to unpack, how she uses these really specific, almost over-the-top, lavish details to show the contrast, huge public success versus this really intense private need for things to just stay put. Like, you've got the world, but you can't nail down lasting love.
Yeah.
That seems to be the core struggle here. So let's start with that big question, the one that really frames the whole song. She asks, point blank, Elizabeth Taylor, do you think it's forever? Why start right there?
Well, because it immediately puts her current relationship on this huge stage. It's not just romance. It's like a performance for the history books. And she's asking Elizabeth Taylor, whose love life was the definition of public drama, burden, all that. If someone like her, someone in that spotlight, can actually have forever. And what's really interesting is how verse 1 sets it up. All this intense glamour, these amazing places, they just seem to make her personal anxieties, her insecurities stand out even more. Like that line, that view of Portofino was on my mind when you called me at the Plaza Athénée.
Okay, yeah. Portofino, Plaza Athénée in Paris. I mean, that's peak luxury. But couldn't someone just hear that as bragging? Like, look how amazing my life is.
You could, maybe on first listen. But the very next line kind of pulls the rug out. She says, ooh, oftentimes it doesn't feel so glamorous to be me. So the sources suggest those places aren't just flexing. They're there to show that even with that view, even in that hotel, this deep worry is still there. Fame doesn't shield you emotionally. Not at all.
And that worry comes from past experiences, right? She immediately compares this new person to all the others. And her track record, well, it hasn't been great, even with famous partners. She says, all the right guys promised they'd stay first. Under bright lights, they withered away, but you bloom. That withered away feels significant.
Oh, it's definitely loaded. It points directly at her fame, her spotlight being this destructive force. Like the brightness itself just kills relationships. So this current partner, the one who blooms, is different. He seems to thrive in that intense light, not just survive it. And that makes him stand out.
Which leads us right into the chorus. And wow, this really crystallizes that whole celebrity problem, doesn't it? That line. Been number 1, but I never had 2.
Yeah, it's like she's ranking relationships on a chart. I've hit number 1 in my career again and again, but that number 2, a stable partner, that's the one slot she can't seem to lock down. It's like she sees relationship stability as just another career goal she hasn't achieved yet.
And she knows why it's so hard, because she lives by the industry rules. That really harsh line in the chorus, you're only as hot as your last hit, baby. Oof.
That's the fundamental fear, isn't it? Everything in her world feels temporary, transactional. So if her career value could just disappear tomorrow, why wouldn't her relationship value be just as fragile? It's that feeling of like nothing lasts. And it's spilling over from her job into her personal life.
So when she asks for stability, she uses that place metaphor. Be my NY when Hollywood hates me. Let's unpack that. Why New York specifically?
Well, New York often represents something more, I guess, grounded for her, maybe connected to her earlier career before things got so massive. Hollywood, LA, that's the machine, right? It's fickle, it judges. It's always about the next hot thing, the last hit. New York feels more like bedrock, stable, something that resists those trends from the West Coast.
So asking him to be her NY, that's asking him to be the constant, the anchor when the industry inevitably turns on her or just moves on. It's a huge ask. And after setting those stakes so high, success, stability, fear of failure, then verse 2 kind of shifts. We get this moment of really dark, self-aware humor about wealth and trust.
Yeah, that question. Hey, what could you possibly get for the girl who has everything and nothing all at once? The everything is obvious, the fame, the money, the stuff, but the nothing. That's the security, the trust, the thing she actually wants.
And then the punchline, that's maybe not quite a joke. Babe, I would trade the Cartier for someone to trust. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Well, she has to add that, doesn't she? In her world, admitting the diamonds, the brands, aren't the real value. It's risky, almost taboo. So she frames this deep need for trust as a joke. But, the need is right there, plain as day. It links trust issues directly to how transactional everything is around her.
Like anyone getting close is immediately viewed through the lens of what they might gain from her.
Exactly. Can they be trusted not to want the Cartier, basically? She needs someone outside that whole system.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the imagery she uses, the settings. Because now she needs to sort of ground this relationship in something that feels permanent, something legendary. So she drops these very specific old Hollywood locations. Like, we hit the best booth at Musso and Frank's.
Yeah, Musso and Frank's isn't just dinner, it's an institution. It connects back to that album title, The Life of a Showgirl. Legends ate there, Sinatra, Fitzgerald, even Elizabeth Taylor. Getting the best booth there isn't casual. It feels like she's deliberately placing the relationship into that whole history, saying, see, this has weight. This could be legendary too.
It's an attempt to borrow some of that permanence, yeah.
Yeah.
To make it feel less modern and disposable, maybe.
But even as she's doing that, the fear of it all falling apart is right there. She jumps straight to the worst case scenario. If you ever leave me high and dry.
And this is where Elizabeth Taylor comes back in, but like dialed up to 11. The threat isn't just sadness, it's iconic drama. I'd cry my eyes violet.
Wow. Using Taylor's most famous physical feature, those violet eyes, as the symbol for her own potential heartbreak. That's intense.
It is. It's like saying her pain wouldn't just be her pain. It would be this epic, legendary, instantly recognizable kind of suffering. It has to live up to the icon she's invoking.
So even her private feelings get filtered through this lens of public legend. She can't escape it.
No, and the post-chorus really drives that home. It lays out the stark reality. All my white diamonds and lovers are forever. In the papers, on the screen, and in their minds.
That's kind of terrifying, actually. It's saying no matter what happens between them, good or bad, short or long, it's permanent public record. It's already history.
Exactly. The love might end, but the story, the headline, the documentation, that lasts forever. Which just adds this insane pressure to make the current reality match the permanent record.
To make it a forever story in real time because it's going to be treated as one anyway.
Precisely. And that pressure, that documentation, it all feeds back into that core insecurity. So the song doesn't really end with a plea, does it? It feels more like a demand. After laying out all the fears, the history, the stakes, it concludes with, don't you ever end up anything but mine? It's using all her power, all her history, to demand the one thing she feels she can't control: permanence.
Okay, so stepping back, this deep dive really shows Elizabeth Taylor isn't just a name drop. It's this incredibly layered song. It mixes vulnerability with power, uses old Hollywood icons to talk about very modern anxieties. Specifically, can real lasting love actually survive inside the bubble of extreme modern fame?
Yeah, and thinking about that leaves us with a pretty interesting question, maybe for you listening.
Mm-hmm.
The lyrics say her white diamonds and lovers are forever in the papers, on the screen. So if everything is instantly permanent in public memory, does that make finding a real, quiet, private forever even harder? What's the actual cost when your relationships are basically historical artifacts the second they start, no matter how they turn out?
Something to think about, definitely. Thanks for exploring that with us. We'll see you on the next deep dive.